田島さんは今何をおっしゃいと言いますか。あなた遅いです。
I've seen this movie advertised at the festival '71, and it was about a British soldier being caught in the worst part of Northern Ireland during the troubles in Northern Ireland with the Irish Republican Army versus the Catholics. The Irish Republican Army versus the Protestants and the British, who they considered to be occupiers. It was actually the British Army who started the Irish Republican Army by committing acts of committing atrocities in Northern Ireland against the Catholic Irish, and so that's when they decided to fight back, and they formed this murderous group known as the Irish Republican Army, which is a terrorist organization. And then eventually split into two and became, there was your extremists, and then there was your let's deal with this problem and be done with it. And eventually, things worked out, and unfortunately the Irish Republican Army became the mafia in Northern Ireland, and started extortion and bank robberies and whatnot, and it's just been a disaster having them in this activity. They were the heroes of the Catholics during the 80s and the 70s and 60s and 50s before that, but now they became the enemies of the Catholics, and they're more or less thugs and gangsters. After the agreement between the British, the Protestants, and the Catholics to make peace, which was brought about by a woman who had her children, I won't say she's Protestant or Catholic, but she had her children killed in this battle, and I believe her name was Mary, and she formed a group to put a stop and put an end to this violence once and for all on behalf of her dead children. It's a very sad state, but it actually worked. So this movie's about this British soldier, and he gets torn away from his protective group while he's in the Catholic sector, putting down a rebellion, and it just becomes one problem after another, and eventually he ends up in the Protestant side where he should be, and they're trying to get him back to his headquarters. But unfortunately the British have this secret military service, the undercover soldiers, who are working with both sides, the Catholics and the Protestants, and this one guy's so sneaky, and he's trying to keep this war going by turning one side against the other, but working for both, like a double agent. So this British soldier undercover knows that this other soldier knows about him and his misactivities, so he's trying to have this soldier killed as well. So, but the thing about this movie is that it grabs you, it pulls you in by the scruff of your neck, and it scares the ever-living shit out of you, and you can't expect, like, you're watching this movie and you know how you're watching a film and you're trying to think of what's going to happen next. Forget it. You will not predict what's going to happen next in this film. I didn't even think this guy was even going to survive this, and he did. There's twists and turns everywhere, and it just, I mean, you come out of this film, like others in them who watched this movie with me said, you have a shortage of breath, and your heart is just beating like crazy because it's so gripping and so moving and so emotionally taxing. You're completely exhausted after watching this movie. This is just an incredible film. This is what a perfection or a perfect film director can produce. This is what he can do to an audience. And it wasn't just me, it was several members of the audience were feeling the same way. This is just an incredible movie. Oh my God, do I recommend this. If you're into action, you're into drama, it does not get better than this movie. 71 is the film to watch.